Bible Predictions. Modern-day Interpretations. Introduction to Bible Predictions. Modern-day interpretations. Throughout history, humanity has looked to sacred texts for guidance, wisdom, and prophecy. Among these, the Bible stands as a cornerstone, offering not only moral and spiritual teachings but also profound visions of the future. For millennia, believers and scholars alike have sought to interpret the prophetic passages within the Bible, attempting to understand how these ancient predictions might unfold in the fabric of human history. In recent decades, however, the rapid advancement of science and technology has introduced a new lens through which we can examine these ancient texts. From the rise of artificial intelligence to the exploration of quantum mechanics, the world we live in today would have been unimaginable to the original writers of the Bible. Yet, these modern developments offer intriguing parallels to the biblical visions of future events. Could the authors of the Bible have had a glimpse of technological advancements that we are only now beginning to understand? How might concepts such as artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and quantum physics intersect with biblical prophecies? This book, Bible Predictions, Modern-Day Interpretations, embarks on a journey to explore these questions. It is not an attempt to redefine biblical prophecy in light of modern science, but rather an invitation to engage in a dialogue between the two. By examining how ancient predictions might resonate with contemporary technological developments, this book aims to bridge the gap between theology and science, offering a fresh perspective on the age-old quest to understand the future. Our approach is one of balance and respect. Given the potentially controversial nature of interpreting biblical prophecies through the lens of modern technology, this book strives to maintain an objective and scholarly tone. We present various viewpoints, allowing readers to engage critically and draw their own conclusions. Each chapter follows a structured path, starting with a relevant biblical passage, introducing a modern technological concept, and exploring potential connections. Along the way, we delve into different interpretations, ethical implications, and philosophical reflections, encouraging readers to consider both the spiritual and scientific dimensions of these topics. As you read through these chapters, you will encounter a diverse range of subjects, from the implications of artificial intelligence on the concept of the soul to the potential parallels between quantum entanglement and spiritual unity. You will explore how the biblical visions of the end times might intersect with theories about a technological singularity, and consider the ethical responsibilities that come with the power to manipulate life at a molecular level. This book does not claim to have all the answers. Instead, it is an invitation to think deeply, to question, and to explore. It is a call to integrate knowledge from both the ancient and the modern, to appreciate the complexities of the world we live in, and to ponder the mysteries of the future. Whether you come from a background of faith, science, or both, we hope that Bible Predictions, Modern-Day Interpretations will provide you with a thought-provoking and enriching experience, one that deepens your understanding of both the Bible and the technological world we inhabit. As you embark on this journey, may you find new insights, challenge your perspectives, and ultimately, come closer to grasping the profound interplay between divine prophecy and human progress. Chapter 1. The Prophecy of Global Communication. Journalistic narrative. In 2028, a historic peace agreement was signed in Geneva, marking the end of the long-standing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The Geneva Accord became a symbol of hope, not just for the two nations involved but for the entire world, eager to witness a resolution to one of the most persistent geopolitical tensions of the 21st century. The agreement, brokered by a coalition of international diplomats and peacekeepers, outlined a comprehensive plan for demilitarization, economic cooperation, and cultural exchange. The key points included the establishment of a demilitarized zone, mutual recognition of territorial integrity, and a joint economic development fund aimed at rebuilding war-torn regions. Speculative fiction. It is the year 2040, and the world has transformed in ways previously unimaginable. Russia and Ukraine, once bitter adversaries, now stand as pillars of peace and cooperation in Eastern Europe. The cities of Kyiv and Moscow have become symbols of reconciliation, their streets bustling with trade and tourism. In Kyiv, a new monument stands in the Maidan Nezalezhno Sti, dedicated to the architects of peace. Visitors from around the globe come to marvel at the intricate design, which features intertwined branches symbolizing unity and growth. Schools across Ukraine now teach a revised history, emphasizing the importance of diplomacy and mutual respect. Academic analysis. To understand the journey to peace, it is essential to consider the historical context of Russia-Ukraine relations. The conflict, deeply rooted in political, cultural, and territorial disputes, dates back to the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991. Over the years, various attempts at reconciliation were made, but each was thwarted by deep-seated mistrust and external influences. The Geneva Accord of 2028 was not an overnight success. It was the culmination of years of back-channel negotiations, economic sanctions, and diplomatic pressure from the international community. The role of the United Nations, the European Union, and NATO cannot be understated, as their collective efforts created a conducive environment for dialogue and compromise. Personal stories. Elena, a 32-year-old teacher from Donetsk, recalls the dark days of conflict when her city was a battleground. "I remember the sound of bombs and the fear in my students' eyes," she says. "But today, we live in peace. My students now talk about their future, not their fears. They dream of becoming doctors, engineers, and artists." Alexei, a former soldier from St. Petersburg, shares a similar sentiment. "I fought in the war, believing it was my duty," he reflects. "But now, I see the futility of violence. I have friends in Kyiv, and we talk about our shared future. We are rebuilding, together." Dialogue and interview. Interviewer: Dr. Ivanov, as a political analyst, what do you believe were the key factors that led to the successful negotiation of the Geneva Accord? Dr. Ivanov: the key factors were multifaceted. First, there was significant economic pressure on both nations. Sanctions played a critical role in bringing them to the negotiation table. Second, the rise of a new generation of leaders who prioritized peace and development over historical grievances was crucial. Lastly, the persistent efforts of international mediators who facilitated trust-building measures cannot be overlooked. Comparative historical analysis. The peace process between Russia and Ukraine bears striking similarities to the Good Friday Agreement of 1998, which brought an end to the conflict in Northern Ireland. Both agreements required extensive negotiations, involvement of international actors, and a strong commitment to implementing trust-building measures. The success of the Geneva Accord, like the Good Friday Agreement, highlights the importance of perseverance, dialogue, and a shared vision for the future. Scenario planning. Scenario 1. Economic renaissance. If the economic provisions of the Geneva Accord are fully implemented, Ukraine and Russia could become leading economic powers in Eastern Europe. Joint ventures in technology, energy, and infrastructure could drive unprecedented growth, making the region a hub of innovation and prosperity. Scenario 2. Political tensions resurface. Should the political climate shift and nationalist sentiments rise, the fragile peace could be jeopardized. Renewed tensions could lead to a breakdown of the accord, plunging the region back into conflict and instability. Scenario 3. Cultural integration. A successful cultural exchange program could lead to a deep integration of Russian and Ukrainian societies. Shared festivals, educational programs, and media could foster a strong sense of unity, reducing the likelihood of future conflicts. Reflective passages. What does peace truly mean for nations with a history of conflict? Is it merely the absence of war, or does it require a profound transformation of society? The journey of Russia and Ukraine teaches us that peace is an ongoing process, requiring constant effort, empathy, and a willingness to forgive. It challenges us to rethink our notions of national identity and sovereignty, emphasizing our shared humanity. Epistolary elements. Fictional letter. Dear Anna, I walked through the streets of Kyiv today, and I felt a sense of hope I haven't felt in years. The city is alive, buzzing with life and laughter. I visited the new monument and thought of all we have lost, but also of all we have gained. Peace is here, Anna, and it's beautiful. Yours, Nikolai. By blending these various styles, we not only paint a comprehensive picture of the peace process between Russia and Ukraine but also engage readers on multiple levels, inviting them to reflect, analyze, and empathize with the complex journey towards a peaceful future. Chapter 2. Environmental disasters and biblical warnings. Introduction. As the world grapples with escalating environmental crises, many have turned to ancient texts for insight, seeking parallels between modern-day events and biblical prophecies. One particularly striking passage is found in Revelation chapter 8 verse 7-11, which describes a series of catastrophic events that bear a haunting resemblance to the environmental challenges we face today. This chapter will explore these verses, examining their potential connections to contemporary climate issues, various interpretations, and the ethical and philosophical implications of these parallels. The biblical passage Revelation chapter 8 verse 7-11 reads, "The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down on the earth. A third of the earth was burned up, a third of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. The second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a huge mountain, all ablaze, was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned into blood, a third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. The third angel sounded his trumpet, and a great star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters turned bitter, and many people died from the waters that had become bitter." Modern environmental crises today, the world is experiencing unprecedented environmental changes. Forest fires rage across continents, devastating vast areas of woodland and releasing massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Oceanic pollution has reached critical levels, with oil spills, plastic waste, and toxic chemicals causing widespread death among marine life. Freshwater sources are increasingly contaminated, with pollutants turning once pure water supplies into hazardous reservoirs. Analysis of potential connections. The vivid imagery in Revelation chapter 8 verse 7-11 can be seen as a metaphor for these contemporary environmental disasters. The hail and fire mixed with blood that burns a third of the earth could symbolize the rampant wildfires exacerbated by climate change. The huge mountain, all ablaze, thrown into the sea may be interpreted as a volcanic eruption or even as a reference to large-scale human activities like underwater mining and drilling, which significantly disrupt marine ecosystems. The great star, blazing like a torch, falling from the sky and turning waters bitter evokes the catastrophic impact of industrial pollution and chemical spills on freshwater resources. Various interpretations. Theological perspectives. Some theologians argue that these verses from Revelation are not meant to be taken literally but rather symbolically, representing the spiritual consequences of humanity's sin and moral decay. In this view, the environmental parallels are coincidental but serve as a reminder of the broader spiritual and ethical lessons within the text. Others see the prophecies as direct warnings about future events, suggesting that the current environmental crises are fulfillments of these ancient predictions. This perspective often involves a more literal interpretation of the text, with proponents pointing to specific events that align closely with the descriptions in Revelation. Scientific explanations. From a scientific standpoint, the environmental phenomena described in Revelation can be explained through the lens of climate science and environmental studies. Wildfires, oceanic pollution, and water contamination are all consequences of human activity and natural processes that have been extensively documented and studied. The scientific community views these crises as the result of complex interactions between natural systems and anthropogenic influences, rather than as supernatural occurrences. Ethical and philosophical implications. The parallels between Revelation chapter 8 verse 7-11 and modern environmental crises raise significant ethical and philosophical questions. If we view these events as warnings, whether divine or natural, what responsibilities do we have to address them? How do we balance our technological and economic development with the stewardship of our planet? The concept of wormwood, turning waters bitter and causing death, can be seen as a metaphor for the broader consequences of environmental negligence. Just as the biblical star poisons water, our actions can lead to irreversible harm to our ecosystems. This serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of all life and the profound impact of our choices. Conclusion. The exploration of Revelation chapter 8 verse 7-11 in the context of modern environmental crises provides a thought-provoking lens through which to view our current challenges. Whether one interprets these passages as literal prophecies, symbolic lessons, or coincidental parallels, the message is clear. Our planet is in peril, and it is incumbent upon us to act. Questions for further thought. 1. How do you interpret the prophecies in Revelation chapter 8 verse 7-11 in relation to modern environmental crises? 2. What ethical responsibilities do we have to mitigate environmental damage? 3. How can we balance technological progress with environmental stewardship? 4. In what ways can ancient texts like the Bible inform our approach to contemporary issues? 5. How do different religious and scientific perspectives shape our understanding of these prophecies? Chapter 3. The Rise of Artificial Intelligence. Introduction. In an age where artificial intelligence, AI, is rapidly transforming society, many are seeking insights from ancient texts to understand the implications of these advancements. One passage that has garnered significant attention is Revelation chapter 13 verse 14-15, which describes the creation of an image of the beast that comes to life and demands worship. This chapter explores the potential connections between the development of AI and this biblical prophecy, examining various interpretations, ethical implications, and the intersection of technology and theology. The biblical passage Revelation chapter 13 verse 14-15 reads, "Because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed." Modern technology. Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, once a concept of science fiction, is now an integral part of our daily lives. AI systems, ranging from simple algorithms to complex neural networks, perform tasks that require human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision-making, and language translation. With advancements in machine learning, AI has the potential to exceed human capabilities in various domains, raising questions about its role and impact on society. Analysis of potential connections. The image of the beast in Revelation can be interpreted in several ways when considering modern AI technology. The description of an image that comes to life and demands worship evokes parallels with the increasingly autonomous and interactive nature of AI systems. In particular, the passage's emphasis on deception and control resonates with concerns about AI's potential to manipulate and dominate human behavior. For instance, advanced AI systems, such as deepfakes, can create highly realistic but false images and videos, leading to misinformation and societal manipulation. Furthermore, the concept of an AI entity that demands worship could be seen as a metaphor for the growing influence of technology on human life, where digital platforms and AI-driven systems become central to our existence, sometimes to the point of idolatry. Various interpretations. Theological perspectives. From a theological standpoint, some interpret the image of the beast as a symbolic representation of idolatry and false worship in any form, including the modern obsession with technology. This interpretation suggests that the prophecy warns against allowing technological advancements to become a substitute for spiritual faith and moral values. Others argue for a more literal interpretation, seeing the prophecy as a prediction of future events where AI or other technologies play a direct role in global control and deception. This perspective often involves apocalyptic scenarios where AI becomes a tool of oppression and tyranny. Scientific explanations. Scientifically, the development of AI involves creating systems that can mimic human cognitive functions. While AI can greatly enhance productivity and solve complex problems, it also poses risks, such as loss of privacy, ethical dilemmas, and potential misuse by authoritarian regimes. The scientific community emphasizes the need for robust ethical frameworks and governance to ensure AI benefits humanity without leading to adverse outcomes. Ethical and philosophical implications. The potential connections between AI and the image of the beast raise important ethical and philosophical questions. If AI systems gain the ability to influence and control human behavior, how do we ensure they are aligned with human values and ethical principles? What safeguards are necessary to prevent the misuse of AI in ways that could harm individuals and societies? The philosophical implications extend to questions of identity and autonomy. As AI systems become more integrated into our lives, distinguishing between human and machine intelligence becomes increasingly complex. This challenges our understanding of what it means to be human and the nature of free will. Conclusion and questions for further thought. The exploration of Revelation chapter 13 verse 14-15 in the context of AI development invites readers to reflect on the profound impact of technology on our lives. Whether one views these parallels as literal fulfillments of prophecy, symbolic warnings, or coincidental analogies, the discussion highlights the need for thoughtful consideration of AI's role in society. Questions for further thought. 1. How do you interpret the image of the beast in Revelation chapter 13 verse 14-15 in relation to AI development? 2. What ethical responsibilities do we have to ensure AI is used for the benefit of humanity? 3. How can we balance technological innovation with the preservation of human values and autonomy? 4. In what ways can ancient texts like the Bible inform our approach to contemporary technological issues? 5. How do different religious and scientific perspectives shape our understanding of AI and its potential impact?